To formally open our program, let us have the opening prayer to ask the guidance and blessings of our Almighty God and honor our beloved country through the singing of the national anthem, Lupang Hinirang, then to be followed by the FDSA hymn.
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to meet together. Please help us to come together to make this institution reflect your kingdom. Breathe life into our ideas and decisions. Help us build a team that has love and respect at its heart. Give us the strength to continue working for your kingdom in this time of pandemic. Lord, come give us the inspiration to be the best we can be. May we be a shining example of your goodness and truth within, wherever we are. Inspire our thoughts, discussions, and ideas, and continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth for the greater glory of you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
A pleasant day to everyone and to our FDSE family and to all our viewers out there, and especially to my co-host from Cebu, FDSE Cebu. Good day to you, sir, Mr. Ariel.
Okay, thank you, Sir Dexter. So good day to you, sir, as well as to our viewers. So we are hoping that you are doing well and healthy despite of this current pandemic crisis we are experiencing. And also to our students, good morning. So welcome to the first online webinar conducted by FDSA Pampanga with partnership of FDSA Cebu entitled Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of a Pandemic. So this webinar is intended for those aspiring aviation maintenance technicians, flight attendants, and pilots who are in doubt due to the onset of the pandemic. This is to remind them that the aviation industry is slowly arising and is steadily facing against all odds. So do not give up on your dreams and aspirations. For those who strive to work hard will always be rewarded. Sir Yusi?
Thank you for that talk, Sir Ariel. So before we finally start our unconventional event, as the facilitators, allow us to introduce ourselves first. Starting with me, I am Sir Dexter UC, a aircraft maintenance technician and currently affiliated as a technical instructor here at FDSA. And we have also joining me today is Mr. Ariel of FDSA Cebu. So, Sir Ariel.
Yes, sir. So, by the way, I am Ariel Sarata Bacolder from FDSA Cebu. So, I graduate here in this school, in this institution. So, I'm your host for today's event. In behalf of FDSA family, we welcome you all to FDSA 2 days career webinar series with a theme of navigating the journey to success in the face of pandemic.
Thank you, Sir Ariel. So you heard it right, guys. FDSA is conducting a 2 days webinar. So instead of 3 days webinar, we maximize the time and days. But we'll still cater you one of the best career webinar. And I think this is the first webinar that happens here sa FDSA, no? So the date of our webinar, supposedly it's at 3 days. But again, we maximize the days. So it will be today, May 24, 10 a.m. and also on May 26. May 26, same time, 10 a.m. also. So wala na tayong May 25, sir. So May 24 and May 26. So our next webinar will be on Wednesday, still on 10 a.m. So Sir Ariel will going to discuss the mechanics on the certificates because as we all know this is a free webinar and also we will going to give some certificate for all the attendants. So Sir Ariel will going to discuss the requirements, what you going to fill up, no, para makuha nyo po yung certificate nyo. Sir Ariel, give them the mechanics.
Thank you, sir. So the mechanics for the e-certificate, so you must register first on the link that we provided. No, we already posted it on Facebook page, and then you have to watch on in our online Facebook page account. So you have to stay tuned, no, at the end of this webinar.
Yes, sir. Actually, so you need first to register on the link. So the link is provided on our official FB page. If
Yes.
sa inyo wala pa masyadong nakakaalam, the FDSA FB page, we have new. Okay, we have new FDSA FB page. It's www.fdsa is www.fdsa www.facebook.com/FDSA Pampanga. So that is our new FB page. No? So still active pa rin po yung isa naming FB page, but we're really happy if you were going to like our new FB page kasi doon po kami mas magiging active. No? So our today's webinar is entitled Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of Pandemic. So again, this is a first webinar series of FDSA. No? So bakit nga ba ito yung title? No? Ba't ito yung theme ng ating webinar? So ako muna, Sir Ariel, feeling ko meron kang insights regarding dito. No? So alam naman natin, di ba? Alam naman natin, we are on the midst of the pandemic. So nandito tayo sa pandemic ngayon, lahat na tamaan. Okay, lahat na tamaan, walang exempted, kumbaga. So, ang aviation industry, no? Aviation industry, isa siya sa pinakanatamaan, 'di ba? Isa siya sa mga pinakanatamaan na industriya, no? It's a domino effect, 'di ba? Dahil nga walang flights, no? So, nagkakaroon ng retrench, no? Nagkakaroon ng skeletal workforce sa mga aviation personnel natin, especially aircraft mechanic, cabin crews, pilots, no, because of walang flight. But the mission of this webinar is to encourage the students, okay? To encourage the students, no, lalo na yung mga gustong mag-take up ng mga aviation courses such as cabin crew, flight attendant, aircraft mechanic, pagpa-pilot, no, which is FDSA is offering. Yung courses namin is all about doon. So, aviation courses talaga sila. So, sabi nga nila, no? So, in this midst pandemic, babangon at babangon yung aviation. So, maybe, no? Maybe on the next few years, no? Babangon ng aviation at magkakaroon ulit ng maraming trabaho, no? Especially for our aviation personnel. So this is one way to encourage the students, the aspiring cabin crews, the aspiring aircraft mechanic, the aspiring pilots. No, so it's a really good choice to watch this webinar. So Ariel, do you have an insight about our theme for today?
Yes, Sir Yusi, no? Tama po kayo. So, regarding with this webinar entitled Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of a Pandemic. So, one student asked me dito rin sa Cebu, no, na yung aviation industry daw po, baka, let's say, after, baka daw continue na mag-down. No? So, this is a webinar where we can tell them or showcase them that the aviation industry right now is still slowly arising back to its normal operation. So yung mga bata mismo, sir, no, marami nagtatanong, sir, paano na yung aviation industry? No? Continue pa ba natin yung courses? Continue pa ba yung mga courses na kinukuha namin, sir? Kasi parang parang hindi na babalik daw sa normal. So that's why we encourage them, no, through this webinar that still, no, the aviation industry after this pandemic will back to normal. So the progress of aviation industry is still number one. So based on our job, no, salaries, no, most highly paid pa rin yung aviation, no, in aviation industry. So mostly in technicians, aircraft mechanics, pilots, flight attendants. No. For now, we experience this kind of pandemic, but after this, no, still, the aviation industry is the number one among all the industries.
Yes, you are correct, no, sir? So, babangon at babangon pa rin yung aviation in due time. Okay? So, thank you so much, Mr. Ariel. For today, we'll be having not one, but two aviation and airline professional. So, let us all enjoy and learn and to be inspired of the world of aviation, as our lovely and inspiring guest speakers will share us their knowledge and experiences. And I think without further ado, I think we can now introduce our first speaker. I believe she is andito na siya, no? So I'm really excited with this one. So our first speaker, so let me just introduce her. She graduated at Lyceum of the Philippines University at the year 2014. She graduated with honors. And with her course, Bachelor of Science in International Travel and Tourism Management, she worked as a ticketing agent at Cebu Pacific Air at the year 2014-2015. I believe this is her first job. And now, she is currently working as a cabin crew since 2016 at one of the leading airline industry here in the Philippines and worldwide, which is the Cebu Pacific Air. Let us all welcome Ms. Vernagine Duque. The floor is yours, Ma'am Bernadine Luque.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes po, ma'am.
So, hi everyone. Good morning again. So, I'm Bernadine Duque, but you can call me Bern. So, just short introduction. So, I'm a lead cabin crew domestic in one of the major airlines in the Philippines, which is Cebu Pacific. And I've been in the company for almost 7 years. And I worked as a ticketing agent before and now as a cabin crew. And I flew both domestic and international flights. So I took a Bachelor in Science International Travel and Tourism Management at Lyceum of the Philippines University. And I believe some of you taking up this course right now are about to take this course, and I believe this will be a good choice. But my company is very much diverse, and they actually extend this opportunity for those who are undergrads, and even if you are graduated in any course, because I have some colleagues na meron nurse, IT professionals, engineers, and teachers and the like. So any courses will do as long as you have the passion to be a cabin crew. Next slide po.
Yes, ma'am, I think you can now present your presentation. And by the way, just a heads up, to all our viewers out there, our Q&A is later. Okay, so we will be having a Q&A segment later, so you can ask your questions on our FB Live. We are live po pala, ma'am. No, actually,
Okay
we
po.
have hundreds of viewers. No, we have hundreds of viewers and counting. No, so later on po, meron po tayong mga question and answer na pwede nating sagutin, no, for cabin crew. Okay, ma'am. Proceed with your presentation. Thank you po.
So first po, I will talk about how I started. So yun, ano po yung work ko before naging cabin crew ako, and what are the hiring process when you apply as a cabin crew. And after that, you undergo the cabin crew training, because once you get hired, um, the company will give you this training. But I won't discuss specifically na lang yung training, but I can share with you my overall or the highlights na na-experience ko throughout my training. And after the training, magkakaroon po ng supervised line check or check ride. When you already act as a cabin crew, and you will apply all the learnings that you have during your classroom lecture. And of course, ito yung benefits and lifestyle to keep everyone motivated sa mga gusto maging cabin crew. I will talk about it later. And also the pros and cons of being a cabin crew. And then the last is what to expect during and after this pandemic. Next slide. So the first one is how I started. Actually, nagkakwento lang po ako, and before kasi, I asked my parents kasi we have this program during my nursery po. And we have this program na parang what do you want to be in the future and what profession you wanted to be like in the future. And my parents told me na that time, gusto ko na pala maging FA. So I was surprised. Tapos, when I asked them, bakit gusto ko maging FA? Sabi niya, sagot ko lang is, dahil magaganda sila at sexy. Natatawa ko kasi, yun na agad yung nakita ko nung bata pa lang ako. So yun na yung nakikita ko sa kanila. I look up them, na yun nga, na maganda sila. Especially pag naka-uniform. Yan, diba? So, another thing is my father was a former aircraft mechanic. And that time, nakita ko na yun napag-aral niya kami magkakapatid. And malaki yung tulong pag nag-work ka sa airline industry. And nakita ko na maraming bansa na punta yung father ko. And gusto ko na maging ganun din ako in the future na. Yeah. And, like pre-cabin crew journey. So, what I've said before, I started as a ticketing agent in Cebu Pacific. Kasi nung nag-graduate ako, ang nasa isip ko lang is kahit anong work, basta airline. That's why I took tourism as my course. So, I never thought na gusto ko maging FA. Parang gusto ko ata na maging kahit ano, basta sa ground. So, I tried na mag-apply sa Cebu Pacific. And before, nandito rin pala din kasi ako nag-OJT. So, sa tingin ko noon, baka may chances kasi may experience na ako. And nag-OJT ako sa Cebu Pacific and I'm in the airport na nag-stay po noon. Tapos yun, I nag-stay po ako sa ticketing for about 1 year and 3 months. And I really enjoy actually my work there. And my colleagues po, masaya. Kasi nakita ko sa Pacific. It's so fun. Eh, para kayong parang it's like family na po in just the office. Yan. And dumating sa point ko na parang sabi ko, parang may kulang. Parang may gusto pa akong gawin and may gusto pa akong itry that time. So, yung mga friends ko, they're actually basically like, what if I try na mag-try mag-apply as a cabin crew? And that time, merong mga mass hiring, walking, and also yung other employees, especially yung pilots, kasi minsan nagpapatikit sila sa amin. And they're actually telling us na we have to try na mag-apply. And parang lahat naman daw kami pwede, since nakita naman daw nila pag pupunta sa amin doon. And yun, so dumating yung time na parang, sige, try ko kasi wala naman mawawala. And sabi ko, ito naman kasi gusto ko dati. So, bakit kaya hindi ko itry? And actually, I have some, may mga doubts ako sa sarili ko. Kasi feeling ko, I'm not that confident enough. I'm not that tall. And feel ko hindi ako willing to ganda. Parang, alam mo yun, ang dami ko niisip agad na negative. Hindi ko pa nga siya natatry. Then, dumating na yung time na yun na nag-apply na ako. Actually, it's walk-in. And it's a one-day process. So that day, malalaman ko na rin if makakapasa ako. But naniniwala talaga ako na pag para sa'yo talaga ibigay. So the day I applied, salimuntik na ako malate. And please, wag niyo akong gagayahin. Kasi talagang, napulahan talaga ako. As in, mas maganda kasi, di ba, mas maaga ka, mas makakapag-prepare ka. And nung time na yun, muntik na talaga ako malate. And so I thought, araw na yun, I couldn't make it. But there's a woman called, what's arrived in the HR. Tinanong niya ako, mag-apply ka as a crew. And I said, yes. And she said, akin na resume mo. Ihahabol ko sa last batch. So think last batch na yun. And what? Nahabol pa. Sabi ko, ito ba ako pa na? I thought, she was just like an angel. So going back to the hiring process, sorry. Hello.
Hello po, ma'am. Yes po, proceed lang po tayo.
Next slide po. Ayan. Thank you. Yan. Ito yung hiring process. So, first, nung nag-arrive ako doon, we came into your room, then we will do a physical screening. So, they will check our height. And for the girls, at least 5'3", and I think for the guys, 5'6". That time, there's a line in the wall, may masking tape, and then sasandal ka sa wall, and you have to reach the line in barefoot. So, no tiptoeing. Then, next, yung HR representative will look closely to your face and will check if there's any marks. And also, papakita mo rin yung smile or teeth mo They will check also if my braces, and may mga stuff like that. And you have to wear the required makeup. And that time, orange uniform Pacific. So, wear a very bright red lipstick and nakaban yung hair ko. Kasi, may, pag mahaba yung hair, so kailangan siya i-one. So that time po, all of my batch, yung sa may time na nag-apply ako, lahat kami yung nasa room, lahat kami nakapasa. The next is the impact interview. Dito naman sa impact interview, the HR representative will ask anything about yourself, about your work, and if fresh grad ka, you will talk about your course, your OTTs, you can share it naman, and also your family background. And after that, we thought tapos na yung impact interview. Then yung HR representative naglabas ng fishbowl. It was like in a pageant na there's paper inside and we have to pick in the first question it. So, nag-ask yung HR noon na any volunteer. And that time, yung feeling na parang gusto ko na mawala yung kaba ko. Parang sabi ko, sige, mauuna na ako. So, nag-volunteer ako. Sabi ko parang, i-raise my hand ako na po parang, ayun. I actually didn't remember what the exact question na na-pick ko, but I remember na parang tanong is, what if your workmate do something bad and will you report him or her in the management? Ay, napaisip ako, ba't na kasi ako nag-volunteer? So, hindi kasi. So, sabi ko, I answered. So, sabi ko, I have to talk to this person first, then ask if why did she or he made it. And for me, it really depends on how bad or she made as long as hindi niya nag-jeopardize yung company. So, I won't report him or her. Maybe I will give him more. If he do it again, I will report it na. Para ganun. Ganun yung nasabi ko. Sabi ko, shucks, sana tama. sabi ko. And then the last is final interview. Yes, still we're in the same room and we'll wait for our names to be called. And the manager from the in-flight services, and now it was called the cabin services na, will interview us. So same with the impact interview, I almost forgot the exact question. Pero ang naalala ko na tanong is why do you want to be a cabin crew? So sabi ko, ma'am, it may sound cliche, but it is my childhood dream. And she said, okay. Then when I was about to continue, magkasalita pa. She said, it's okay, I already heard enough. And then she smiled. Sabi ko, parang, hala, ba't ganun? Hindi niya na ako pinatuloy. Baka ayaw niya sa akin. Ang dami ko nang naiisip na baka hindi talaga siya para sa akin. Tapos, tinugtungan pa niya, i-ask niya ako if may body build, if ganun ba talaga yung body build ko. Because that time, parang medyo chubby ako. Hindi naman sobrang tapa, pero I think still proportion with my height. Pero tinanong niya yun, sabi ko na lang, is, parang nagda-diet ako, nag-exercise na ako kasi I really want to work. And he smiled again, and I don't know what actually, I can't actually read her mind kasi pangiti-ngiti lang siya. And talaga pinag-pray ko that time na sana magustuhan ako and sana makita niya yung kagustuhan ko talaga sa job na yun. On that day, I also received the good news. And thank God, I passed. Yun. Next slide po. So, complete all the necessary training by the company. So, after completing all the pre-employment requirements, they will give you a schedule of your training. So, next sa cabin crew training, ito, actually it lasts for 2 months. And, nasasabi ko na hindi po talaga madali yung training. The first day, binigyan kami ng 2 thick manuals and we have to memorize and know it by heart. And actually, a lot of exams. I think every day may exams. And meron kasi sa kami tuwing ng emergency procedures na we have to perform and it was graded. And tinuruan din kami how to have a proper grooming, ano yung required na makeup for a Cebu Pacific cabin crew. And to be honest, hindi talaga ako marunong mag-makeup. So, parang natuto na lang din ako since every day din kasi nag-makeup ka and also nanonood ako ng mga videos para ano yung bagay sa face ko, ganyan. And natuto din ako, and tinuruan din kami ng basic first aid. And wala, totally, I have no idea. Kasi during nag-aaral ako, wala naman tinuturo na ganun. And natuto rin ako mag-CPR. Actually, ang dami ko natutunan sa training. Which is ma-apply din natin, not only in the work, and also in case na wag naman sana, di ba? Actually, sa training na to, isa sa mga kinakabahan talaga is yung swimming. Kasi, dito talaga ako may confident lumangoy. And to those who are watching right now, wag ka mawala ng pag-asa. As long as determined ka and you show them that you're brave, that you can swim even without life vest in a 10-feet pool, kakapasa. Trust me. Ako na mismo nagsasabi sa'yo. But before that naman, I enrolled myself in a swimming lesson kasi gusto ko talaga mawala yung takot ko. Gusto ko kaya ko ipakita na kaya ko tumalon, na kaya ko tumagal sa pool kasi meron yun parang 5 minutes ka, dapat hindi lulubog sa pool. Just to share you, nung time na yun sa swimming, talaga nagpapanik ako. Pero walang tumutulong sa akin kasi hindi talaga required na tumulong sa'yo. So lumapit sa akin yung instructor ko. Konting-konti na lang. Pero hanggang doon lang siya. Parang sabi niya, sige Bern, magpanik ka. Malulunod ka talaga. Tapos sabi ko, nasa isip ko na lang, parang hindi papakita ko to. Kaya ko to. Kahit deep inside, gustong-gusto ko na umiyak. Gusto ko na magpatulong. Pero imagine, nakaya ko siyang tumagal within 5 minutes hanggang sa lumangoy na ako doon sa may gilid. Yun. So, basta lagi mo lang isipin na kaya mo kasi nag-a-attract yun eh. Kasi ako nung time na yun, parang more negative. Hanggang sa naisip ko na lang, hindi, andito na ako eh. Ba't ko ba sayang yung opportunity na to? Andito na ako sa swimming. I mean, natapos ko na ibang process. Training na lang to. Kung sino lang, magiging cabin crew na ako. So, bakit ito ba ako mag-give up? Yan. And last, yung mga yung mga emergency procedures, and we have different aircrafts in Cebu Pacific, so may mga iba-iba silang procedures. And this part, lahat kami talaga kinakabahan kasi it's a graded performance and we have to move quickly and think na we have to evacuate all the passengers in just 90 seconds. And in overall, for me, it's important na as long as you enjoy and you love what you're doing, matatapos mo talaga yung training mo. And yung mga kabatch mo, actually, tulungan kayo dyan eh. And kasi lahat naman kayo, gusto lahat makagraduate kasi lahat kayo gustong job na pinasok na to. Yun. Next slide po. Ayan. So, yan. As I've said before, we have the supervised line experience and check flight. Kasi after the classroom thing, you will given this SLE, this actual application of the learning you have in the classroom lecture. So, you already have to act as a cabin crew, but the supervisor will guide you throughout the flight. So, yun, at least actually, sa SLE, may mga passengers na nun. And then, you act as a cabin crew, then yung manager mo or your supervisor will check on you, and he or she will advise you on yung mga dapat mong gawin. Kasi actually, it's a 4-leg flight, meaning 4 flight siya. So, you have a chance talaga. So, at the end of the day, sabihin na yung mga needs of improvement kasi darating na rin yung check ride. So, ito yung check ride it is a graded graded performance mo na you'll act as really a cabin crew without the supervision of your manager or supervisor. So, parang nakaupo na lang siya. Andun na lang siya sa may passenger seat. And tinitingnan ka niya how you act. Yan. And yun, kailangan mo talaga siyang mapasa kasi I think wala itong once you failed, I think you have to reapply again. So you have to give your best in this day. Mag-aral ka talaga. And isa puso mo lang, lahat ng mga natutunan mo. Kasi pag sinasa ulo mo lang kasi, I think madali siya mawawala. And you have to know with your heart all the duties and responsibilities and fling it na. Kasi na araw na yun, kunti na lang, makukuha mo na yung work na gusto mo. Magiging cabin crew ka na. And next slide po. Ayan. Here's my picture, still in orange uniform. This was last March 15, 2016 na Pinay Wings ko. Yan. Ito naman, all smile ako dyan. Sobrang saya ko. Parang, finally, ito na. So, I achieved my childhood dream. And yun, sobrang proud ako sa sarili ko and also my parents na kasi, uy, parang dati lang, yun yung gusto mo. Tapos ngayon, nakuha mo na siya. Diba? Just you have to believe in yourself lang na talagang magagawa mo siya, na kaya mo siya. The next slide po. And yes, ito na. I think ito yung pinakahintay. Kasi syempre, ito yung makakapag-motivate lalo sa atin na gusto natin talaga pursue yung gusto natin or yung dream natin na pagiging cabin crew. So, the pros and cons of being a cabin crew. Next slide po. Yes, ayan. First, the compensation, because lalayo pa ba tayo? Yeah. But it really varies naman po in any airline, but a cabin crew are paid in hourly rate and plus their basic salary. And addition po yung commission kasi in Cebu Pacific, we also sell buy and board eats and we also sell merchandise items and nakakakuha po kami ng commission whenever makapagbenta kami. So kami, kung gusto namin mas malaki makukuha, mas mag-push namin talaga na magbenta. Yan. And a regular flight attendant can actually earn up to 40 to 70,000. It depends kung masipag ka talagang lumipad and talagang kinukuha mo yung mga naninigay na lipad kasi gusto mo, ganito yung makuha mo eh. Siyempre yung mga time na yun, yung first 6 months ko, sobrang sipag ko ako. As in, umaabot ako ng mga 90 plus flying time. Kasi nung first month, I think I have 80 flying time and nakuha ko yung unang sahod ko. Nagulat talaga ako. Hindi ko na-expect na, ay, ganito pala yung nakukuha. So, ako na-motivate na, gusto ko laging lumipad. Kasi, syempre, kung ganyan ang kuha mo, diba? Nakakatuwa, mabibili mo yung mga gusto mo, matutulungan mo yung family mo. Yun yung mga naisip ko. So, yun. And then, is travel benefit or yung FAC or yung free of charge? Actually, this is my favorite part. Since nasa ticketing pa ako, ginagamit ko na talaga itong FOC. And I really love to travel kasi. And just to share with you, it's my first time na makasakay ng aircraft sa Cebu Pacific. And yung first destination na napuntahan ko is Bacolod. Yung sa ticketing ako. So, sobrang saya. Ganun pala yung feeling na nasa aircraft. And I never thought na ito na yung magiging job ko na lagi na nasa aircraft. Ayun. But you will get this, yung travel benefits or yung FOC once you be a regular employee. So, after 6 months, mabibigyan ka na and also your dependents, meron din sila. So, hindi lang siya para sa'yo. So, as in, pati yung family mo magkakaroon. Then, advantages is meeting new people. Well, if you love meeting new people and this job is really for you will get to meet and interact with people all over the world and while providing, of course, an exceptional customer service. The next one is work schedule. Your cabin crew can work up to 99 hours, that's maximum every month. And cabin crew have the opportunity to bid and trade or swap the schedule before the release of the roster. So, flexible yung schedule mo dito. So, in case may mga lakad, pwede mo siya magawa ng paraan. I mean, basta masipag ka mag-exchange, and yun. Basta pagtatrabahurin mo talaga yung schedule mo, maaayos yung schedule mo. Yeah. So, yung nakuha ko na to kasi lagi ko siya nakikita. You marry me and flight is not free, but standby. Kasi not actually free because you have to pay for the taxes, terminal fees, ayan. So, yun yung mga perks na, actually not the flight attendant, actually lahat na regular organic employee ni Cebu Pacific, merong benefit na, yun, FOC, free of charge tickets. Next slide po. Of course, it may mga advantages. I'll also discuss the disadvantages. And for me, so as a cabin crew, nakikita ko is yung work schedule. This job requires you to be away from home, even on holidays and occasions. At first, syempre nakakalungkot kasi nasanay tayo pag kasama natin yung family natin or loved ones natin, pag may mga holidays and reunions. But in this line of work, bihira. I mean, unless i-give talaga sa'yo na off ka on New Year or Christmas. Pero kasi, mas marami kasing passenger ang umuwi with time. So, itas pagiging cabin crew, kailangan natin mag-work. So, ayun. Pero, masasanay ka din actually. Kasi, para you will think na lang your passenger na mas okay na parang yung fulfill sa job ng pagiging cabin crew is ma, ma mapapunta mo sila sa place nila to reunite with your loved ones ng safe and comfort. And next is health issues. Time zones can make it difficult to live a healthy lifestyle, but here in Cebu Pacific naman, we have two international flights with different time zones. So I think we have to buy in Melbourne and also Sydney. So medyo madali naman makaka-adjust ng body kasi not everyday naman na mabibigyan ka ng ganung roster or ganung schedule. So yun. Also, eating at wrong hours and can't sleep properly. Kasi yung madalas sa mga layover, mahirap talaga makatulog, lalo na pag sino yung body, masasabit yung time. So, kailangan mo talaga mag-adjust. And minsan, yung sleeping time ko, minsan, madaling araw na yun sa Philippines na dapat tulog na ako. Pero since kakarating ko lang ng hotel, kailangan ko talaga din kumain. Kasi syempre, napagod sa work. Ayun. So, parang ito, medyo bumabalik ulit yung dati kong katawan, medyo tumataba ulit ako. So, ayun, kailangan kasi i-maintain kasi meron din kasi yung cabin services. You have to check the waistline of the crew para may I'm not sure kung ano na yung required ngayon. Kasi before, it was 27. So, once na nag-27 up ka, I think grounded ka. So, mahirap. Kasi mawawalan ka ng lipad, ganyan. Ayun. And, of course, health issue this during pandemic. Right now, I'm flying. Actually, I flew yesterday, Davao. And very risky talaga to lumipad because you will not know if may passengers or even your co-crew is positive or not. But before that naman, we have this protocol na meron kaming swab test before we fly, before we attend our duty naman. So, para it's a peace of mind na lang na lilipad ako na okay ako. And also, like me, ako kasi, I'm staying with my family now, and yes. So, uwian ako. So, I take an extra precaution talaga in flight. And you have to think na minsan hindi na ako kumakain. Hindi na ako kumakain sa flight. If it's a short flight, hindi na ako kumakain because I don't want to remove my mask talaga. And if iinom ako, as in, makilisan na talaga. And when pag nag-uusap ako with co-crew, I'll make sure talaga na we wear our mask. Kasi mahirap na talaga ngayon. Especially ako ngayon, kasama ko family ko. Ayoko maging kumpiyansa na feeling ko pag na-test siya, okay na siya. Kasi we have to think na everyone na nakakasalamuhan natin is positive. Parang ganun na lang. Para you have to be careful na lang. Next slide po. Ayan. Picture. Actually, this was taken during ground stop in General Santos Airport. Ito yung uniform namin in flight. So we are protected by the PPEs. We have our mask. We also have face shield, but that time you remove ko for picture purposes. And we also wear gloves. Yes, that time mukhang tinanggal ko din siya for picture purposes lang. Like po. Ayan. So, being a cabin crew is really a fulfilling job wherein you can broaden your horizon and improve your customer service skills. And although being a cabin crew has its drawbacks, let's look for these disadvantages as an opportunity in disguise, an opportunity to learn and enhance ourselves more. Ayan. Just to share with you some of my layovers. Ayan, the time first picture in the left. It was in the South Korea. This was taken last December 29. Yeah, it's December 2019. Yeah, pre-pandemic. It's my first time to do ski. Actually, parang first and last ko na yan. Kasi parang more on nahulog pa talaga ako. Ang hirap pag hindi marunong. So, kitang-kita naman sa itsura ko dyan na parang natatakot na nakangiti na lang. Pero it's very, nakakatuwa na may experience. And itong nasa gitna, it's in Sydney, Australia. So, syempre, ito ating first time ko sa Australia. So, sobrang saya. Yan, hindi ko ina-expect na makakapunta pala ako doon. Kasi never imagine naman ako kasi gusto ko lang talaga mapuntahan. It's Japan, Korea, pero I never imagine na makakapunta rin pala ako sa Australia. Sydney. And ito nasa right, ito yung si beach in Melbourne. Ayun pa. Yan yung mga perks na pwede sa pagiging cabin crew. So what to expect during and after after this flight, yung ginagawa ko itong PowerPoint. Medyo may dadalawang isip ako. Actually, may message ko nga si Ma'am Jane. Hi, Ma'am Jane. Medyo mabigat talaga. Medyo mabigat. And but I think I really need to share it with you and to know and be aware of what's really happening. And alam ko na narinig din yung mga news na a lot of company in our tourism industry and one of the airlines na nag-lay off. And also, kaya rin ako din, hindi na rin ako madalas na po-post yun ng mga pictures. Kasi parang bihira na lang ako mag-post ng mga pictures na naka-cabin crew. Kasi parang iisip ko, ano pa yung mararamdaman nila, yung mga colleagues ko before. Stuff like that. Ang dami ko naisip. And we know naman din na cabin crew hiring, not also hiring at this moment. So, naka-freeze hiring din sa Pacific. Kasi these times, we know na what is important is how the company can survive in this pandemic. Plus, stricter guidelines before checking in flight. And including na rin po yung mga non-essential na travel, hindi siya rin alam. So, ang daming na-cancel na flights namin. And I know some of you listening right now, nag-aalala. I mean, paano kami pag-graduate namin? But there's one thing I'm very sure. Tourism and hospitality industry will rise once this is all over. And for those watching right now, I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to continue to learn and to improve yourself more. I believe this is the perfect time to prepare. And pag dumating na yung time, nababalik na ulit sa dating lahat, then you are readily prepared. And you can apply for the job that you really wanted to do. So, kung ako, never stop chasing your dreams or what you really wanted in life, because I believe your time will come. And just trust in our Lord and mercy will provide. And that's it po. Medyo mabigat yung last. And thank you and hope to fly with you also.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Vern. So thank you for that comprehensive and informative and of course inspiring talk. So hopefully our aspiring flight attendant out there learned something from our professional cabin crew, Ma'am Bernadine Duque, or let's call her Vern. Yes, opo, Ma'am Vern. Okay, so I think this is now the time that we can ask question, no? So, this is the first question, ma'am. Sabi dito, hindi po ba mahirap ang ginagawa ninyo sa Cebu Pacific?
Well, as a cabin crew, para kasi it's a routine na siya eh. Once you already know it by heart, your duties and responsibilities, wala na maging mahirap.
Yes. Okay, so so far, isa lang daw po yung nagtatanong. So, if you have some questions, most especially dun sa mga cabin crew students namin dyan, don't hesitate to ask your question. Ayun, meron na question 2. Sabi daw po, bawal po ba ang may tattoo sa cabin crew?
Oh, well, I think bawal po siya eh. Bawal po talaga. Lalo na po yung visible sa uniform.
Yun. So, bawal daw yung may tattoo, lalo na daw pag visible. So, sige po, meron pa po tayong mga question if you want to ask some questions. Actually, ma'am, ako din, may pinipare ako na questions, no? Pero I think nasagot mo na din naman kanina. Pero ito, tatanong ko din, what is it like to be a flight attendant during this pandemic, ma'am?
Oh, that's like yung flight attendant. Ngayon kasi parang ma-realize ko talaga yung importance ng job eh. Kasi before, lumilipad lang ako, parang sige, lilipad ako kasi kailangan, ito yung schedule ko. Pero ngayon kasi sa nakikita ko, it's really important na mahalin mo or maging thankful ka kung meron ka ngayon. You have to enjoy whatever life brings to you, lalo na ngayon sa job ko. And hindi pa natin alam kung kailan ulit papangon yung industry. So hanggang ngayon, as in, I'm just working na lang. And yung pinapakita ko na hanggang nandito ako, I will give my very best for this job.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So, another question po. Dito, sabi daw po, yes, Sir Ariel, may question po. Question number 3, pakibasa naman po.
Okay, hello ma'am. So we have a question here. So advantage po ba ang may medical course sa FA?
Yeah, actually, I have my friend po na kabatch ko na nurse siya. And yun, ayun yung time na yun sa may training namin. She share na mga ideas niya. And also sa pag-flight kasi minsan, in case magkaroon ng medical emergency, so ano ba naman, uh, nagtatanong kami if there's any nurse sa crew kasi siya talaga yung mismo mag-a-attend dun sa passenger. Well, aside from, of course, kailangan din namin kasi mag-page na any doctor or nurse on board just to help them.
Okay, thank you po. Meron pa po akong isang question, ma'am. Okay, so I think most of the students wants to know, so how is the training to become an flight attendant? And where is the training to become flight attendant? Okay, again, ma'am, I will repeat the question. So how is the training to become an flight attendant, and where is the training to become a flight attendant?
That time, sabi ko nga, hindi talaga siya madaling training. Actually, yung dati mong dapat pag-aralan. And we have these two manuals na kailangan namin aralin. And where to, ako kasi, hindi ako nag-enroll sa mga cabin crew na training. Kasi I think may mga school na nag-offer yun. So I really have no idea. So that time, nag-apply ako dun kung paano pala yung training. So more on like at least we have to know also about the dangerous foods not in flight, and also like the emergency procedures, how to react in different aircraft. Kasi in Cebu Pacific we have 3 aircraft, so we should have to proceed. Kailangan kung paano ba yung things mo,
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So meron ka pang question, Sir Dexter?
Yes, sir. Sabi dito ng isang student, ma'am, ilang months po ba nagtatagal ang training ng isang FA? Ito po, ilang months po ba nagtatagal ang training ng isang FA?
Nag-start ako January, I think it's January 15. Then nag-graduate ako na March 15.
So, yun, 2 months pala. 2 months po. In all airlines po ba yun, ma'am? Sa lahat po ba ng airlines or
Not sure
particular
sa different airlines. Bali siguro. Siguro pag the more maraming aircraft, mas tagal yung training.
Sige, thank you po, ma'am. So far, Cebu Pacific, 2 months daw, according to Ma'am Vern, no? So, thank you so much, ma'am. Wala na daw pong questions no, na andito, but I have one question po. What are your any additional insight or your message for our aspiring flight attendants out there who are on their moments of doubts about their chosen courses? Ano po yung pwede natin?
So, sabi ko nga, like what I said earlier, talagang mapapaisip ka talaga eh. Parang, ito ba talaga? Ito ba talaga yung gusto ko? So, paano ba ako in the future? Kailan ba ito matatapos ng pandemic? So, ang dami mong naisip ng negative thoughts. Pero kasi naniniwala ako na babalik din talaga sa lahat dati. We have to think very, we have to be optimistic na babalik din sa lahat talaga dati. And your time will come. Just trust in the process now. Never stop chasing whatever you want to find.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for that heartwarming and inspiring message to all our aspiring flight attendant. So, thank you so much, Ma'am Vern. So, by the way, no, to all our aspiring flight attendant out there, what are you waiting for? The FDSA is now accepting enrollees for this SEM 2021. We are offering aviation courses such as aircraft maintenance technology, Aviation Electronic Technology, and last but not the least, for our aspiring future cabin crew or flight attendant, Bachelor in Aviation Business Management, major in flight attendant. So what are you waiting for? No, enroll now. Our new official FB page is ready to answer all your queries and questions. So before we proceed to our next presenter, may we award the first certificate of operation, Mr. Ariel.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so FDC Aviation College of Science and Technology Incorporation award this Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is presented to Verna Jean Doke for sharing her value knowledge as guest speaker during webinar on topic Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of a Pandemic. Given this 24th day of May 2021 at FDSA Aviation College of Science and Technology Incorporation. Signed, Ms. Sitabil G. Malonzo, MIT MBA, Head of Academic Affairs, and Engineer Juaneto M. De La Cruz, President and CEO.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Vern, for that comprehensive, informative, and inspiring talk. No? So, bibigay po namin yung e-certificate niyo, Ma'am J. No? No, andyan po si Ma'am J. Thank you so much po, Ma'am Vern.
Thank you so much din po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Anak. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Bye.
and
Bye.
okay, thank you po. And for now, our last speaker today, so tapos na po tayo sa ating cabin crew. So hindi pa daw natatapos yung ating webinar. Ano, I know you've been waiting for this. So am I. So without further ado, let me now introduce to you the last speaker for our webinar today. So he completed schooling from DAV PS in 2006, obtained his commercial pilot license in 2007, completed Airbus A320 training in 2009, completed Diploma International Trade in 2009. His working experience is he worked as in Convergys BPO at the year 2008, and he also worked as a professional commercial pilot from 2009 to 2015 in on Go Airlines India, and currently affiliated as professional commercial pilot since 2015 up until today at Indigo Airlines India. So let us all welcome Cap AJ Malik. Sir, the floor is yours.
Hello, good morning, everybody. As gentleman has introduced me already, I'm Captain Ajay Malik from India, and I started my career in about 2006, as he has mentioned. I was with the Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics in 2007. Wonderful experience I had. I was able to do my training in about 10 months, which is a very less time, because schools all over the globe were taking as long as about 1.5 years. Some delays were happening, so due to some weather and other changes. But under the guidance of Mr. De La Cruz, we were able to complete our training. All of us, all our batchmates were able to complete our training within 10 months. Subsequently, we got a lot of support from Mr. De La Cruz and all the management. Very supportive in all in our travel, in our stay, in our food, and of course in our training. We met a lot of nice instructors over there. All very experienced campaigners. Some were like flying for. Most of them are now must be retired, and some of them have joined Cebu Pacific and airlines over there. And I'm glad to tell you that most of the most of the batchmates, there were about 20, 25 batchmates from India, and all of them have got the jobs, and most of them are now flying as line captains. Some of them have become trainers as well. So this was all because of the effort that the trainers and the FDSA management put in us during that time. So I hope you're all able to hear me, right?
Yes, po, it's clear. Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, okay. So back in 2007, then we returned to our native place. We returned to India, and few years of struggle, like 1 or 2 years, we had to look for the job. We worked in various other fields as well. Like he has mentioned, I went to a call center. I went there for about 1.5 years, and subsequently then started going through the books, and opportunities started coming in, and eventually I got through one of the airlines in India, that is Go Airlines. So there were about like 800 candidates who came for the exam in Go Airlines. About 800 candidates. Out of that, about 20 were shortlisted for the interview, and out of that, 10 were selected for the during the selection process. So out of 800 candidates at that moment, so the recession at that point started coming in the aviation field for about 2008 to 2010. Before that, even if you had the license, even if you get the license, authority used to call you and give you the job, and basically airline used to call you themselves, and they used to give you the job. So imagine the kind of training we must have received in the Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics, that out of the 800 candidates, we were the one, I was the one, I mean, I was amongst the 10 candidates that was selected and to serve the airline. So it's a wonderful profession. Aviation, I will tell you a little bit about aviation. Aviation is a wonderful profession. You get to, previous speaker has already mentioned, you get to meet a lot of different nationalities. Then you get to fly with to different destinations. You get travel leave benefits, which is not only limited to you, which is also extended to your immediate family. So imagine what a great life you have. I mean, one day you are sitting in India, another day you are sitting in Dubai, another day you are flying to Europe. So it's a great life. It's a wonderful profession. I mean, if given a chance, I will again choose it. I will again choose the same profession of becoming a pilot only. And you get insurance benefits also. Whichever airline you join, you will get insurance benefits. Like the insurances are covered if you lose your license during your career, like due to some unfitness or due to some incident or due to some or the other issue, you will be accommodated somewhere or the other in this. There are so many ancillaries basically where you can work. There's not only a flying branch where you can just, if you get unfit or if you have made a mistake or some incident has occurred. So you get a lot of other, you can work in flight safety department, you can work and serve as a simulator instructor. So there are a lot of ancillaries where you can work. So there's no scarcity of jobs any day. So, so another benefits is that you get to there's a lot of benevolent schemes that is there. You get flexible contracts. Like if you want to work for once you upgrade as captains, a lot of airlines give you flexible contracts. Basically, if you want to work 1 month on, 1 month off. So once you upgrade as captain, so these are the contracts that you get. And even if you want to work 15 days a month, so these that kind of contracts are also available. So what people do, a lot of captains are working in airlines abroad, so they go for 2 months and they fly over there, earn good money and good salaries abroad, and then they come back and come for a rest for about 2 months back to their native places and do whatever they want to do, to follow their hobbies or follow their some other businesses. They are able to do that as well. So but all this generally comes at a cost. So you know all these you'll have to pay a cost for this. Once you are into this, you'll have to be what is the cost? So cost would be, first of all, your medical. You should treat medical as your insurance once you're into this career. So I would suggest that you should avoid contact sports. You should avoid contact sports. Basically, avoid playing football, avoid playing basketball, or switch over to swimming, switch over to basically yoga. India is famous for yoga. Even now, it is now expanded to a lot of other countries as well. So walking is the best form of exercise as well. Then we have seen that a lot of pilots who have been doing running, and they have to replace their kneecap at the age of 45, 50. So try to avoid all these things once you're in this profession. Then meditation, yoga, these are very good things that you must adapt to. You all must be try to become light sleeper, because one day you'll be sleeping in your place, and another day you'll be on a layover, someday you'll be having different time zones. So if given a choice, try to relax yourself and become a light sleeper. Learn from the see Buddha behind me. He's behind me. So because one day you will wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and probably next day you will be sleeping at 3 a.m. So it's best if you can just relax and also try to keep your worries outside your workplace. When we were getting trained, so we were taught that even if your wife is sick, even if your somebody close is sick at home, so it's generally advised to avoid the flight on that particular day also, if you are getting bothered with that, because a lot of mental breakdowns have occurred, a lot of accidents, a lot of incidents have occurred. So but imagine you'll be groomed to become a better person in all ways. You will see the life with a different perspective when you'll be able to daily handle all these kind of things. So your own very life will also become much better, and your approach to life will become much different. And another thing is that grooming is very much required when you are in this profession. People look upon you with a sense of pride when you're walking to the airport. So everybody looks at you with a sense of pride. So it is advisable always, you must look like Tom Cruise of Top Gun, and you should think that you are the showstopper over here. So grooming is also very important. Keep your shoes polished and the shirt ironed and uniform ironed, basically. And then haircut should be, into the acceptable way. The haircut should be short. So then another thing is that you will find various instructors, various nationalities, various standard operating procedures, and you'll find most of the instructors are there to help you. Everybody is there to help you. Everybody would be willing to share their knowledge in aviation. Once you will get there, you'll find that they'll be very nice. They'll be, but as they say, you get respect if you give respect. So if there is a if there is a skill issue, there's no problem in aviation. You will be trained again. You will give ample number of opportunities before you are told that, okay, this profession is not made for you, or you have to improve a little bit more. But if there is a will issue, so there comes a little bit problem. When there is a will issue, then the instructor gets to know. Yeah, hello. Any questions? Anything?
Sir, I'm sorry for that. You can proceed with your presentation.
So if there is so I was saying, if there is a skill issue, you will find that instructors are there to help you. They will be helping you, and they will make sure that you achieve your dreams. See, it's not a pyramid structure in aviation that, only one person couldn't go to the top. There are, all the ratio depends upon the number of aircraft the airline has. The crew ratio depends upon the number of, what is the fleet of the airline. So everybody is there to help you. Everybody is there to promote you in your career. And however, if they find if there's a safety issue, or if there's a will issue, you're not preparing well, or so that can become a little bit problem. But that happens with very, very minimum people. Very, very, like not even 1% goes through that. So see, we are in an age of social media as well, and we all want to, portray a great life, and whatever we are living. So we want to digital. We cannot stay away from that. But what I have experienced in my 15 years of aviation career, that few things, if can be avoided, then it should be avoided. Like you'll be the brand ambassador for the for like at present you'll be the brand ambassador for Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics. So any political views or any comments on derogatory comments or anything, it is advisable that it should be limited, and it should be avoided as a professional, because as I said, you'll be the brand ambassador for the school and also for the airline that you're going to work for once you are into the airline. It's a beautiful profession, and code of conduct is another thing that is asked for. You will from your HR, you will be told to give 6 monthly or annual check on code of conduct. What happens is sometimes there has been instances when, like, for some personal gains, like it has been found that few pilots are like slowing down the aircraft, and because they get overtime. But if they are supposed to taxi the aircraft at 30 knots, so instead of that, they are taxiing the aircraft at 5 knots, so that they get the overtime. So these kind of things go against the code of conduct, as far as this is from the pilot's perspective. And other things like it has been found that a few things are being taken to home, like a few items which are supposed to be sold on to the passengers. So these things are being taken away to the home, and sometimes from the commercial side also, some of the other error or some of the other things which should be avoided, which should, like during the screening or during the security check. So code of conduct is another thing that you'll find that you should keep yourself abreast with right character, right? Be honest, be a good human being. It's very important to be a good human being first of all, above all, and rest everything will follow. Rest things will follow. It's one of the nice profession, but it is also one of the regulated profession as well. To enjoy the perks, to enjoy travel, and to enjoy the free tickets and free benefits and all those things, and having office at 40,000 feet with a great view, one must go through this as if like there's going to be a constant check on you. Every year you're going to be giving some or the other check rides or the training flights. You'll be going through some ground refreshers, technical courses, and see, there are so many courses. Like we go every 6 months. We have to go for first of all our medical. We have to go for every 6 months. We have to clear that. We should be in a good, very, very good condition. Then we give internal exams every 6 months, or whatever aircraft we have flown. Like for I fly Airbus T20, so we give internal exams every 6 months for that. Also, we are taken to the simulator every 6 months, and we prove our metal over there as well. That we remain current with all the emergencies, all the failures. We practice that. One day we practice, next day we give show our skill. So it is also one of the regulated profession, which makes you a very disciplined person in overall life. You will feel that you're doing something good for yourself. And last but not the least, I like to say that there are a lot of aircrafts on order. There are a lot of aircrafts on order, and right now, not even 50% of pilots are trained, which are going to be flying the aircraft in 2030. Because the age, most of the pilots are reaching the retirement age, and also the attrition is there. So I'll show you some figures. I'll show you some figures later on. So there are a lot of orders. This is, I think, the worst is behind us now. The vaccines are there everywhere. Everywhere vaccine is available now. And I think by mid 2022, we'll be back to normalcy, and unprecedented growth that we were seeing in the aviation sector, that will continue to follow. So by 2022, I think most of you people will be ready with your degrees and whatever courses you are doing at Flight Dynamics School or any other school in across the globe. So that, I think, that's one of the best time to enter the aviation field. So I'll discuss a little bit about safety thing also, since I'm a flight safety instructor with my present airline. I'm also a safety instructor. So what do we understand basically by safety? Safety is basically reducing the level of risk when we are in any kind of environment. That is what safety is all about. So there are a few things that as a pilot we are supposed to know. As a general, we are supposed to know basically. One is that we should understand few definitions. What is an accident? What is an incident? And what is a hazard? What is an occurrence? And what are runway incursions? What are runway excursions? So to understand these, I would recommend you all that try to go through episodes of various on YouTube. Try to go through episodes of air crash investigations, and try to find out what are the factors, what things could have the cockpit crew could have done, what things could the aircraft maintenance engineers could have done, or cabin could have done. So there's a the culture is now changing. The culture of aviation is now changing. See, earlier during the 1950s, when the Boeing started roaring into the skies, any incident or any accident was attributed to technical factors. We all used to say that okay, there must be some technical issue. But now with the 1970s, things started to change. In the 1970s, the there was a stress on basically SOPs came into the picture. SOPs came into the picture, and CRM also, that is crew resource management, that also came into the picture. So what is SOPs? Standard operating procedures. See, before 1970s, people used to every person has their own operating procedures. Today, if you're flying the captain from Brazil, he will fly the aircraft differently, and tomorrow you're flying for the captain from Middle East, he's going to fly the aircraft differently. So nobody used to know what was happening. Why were the incidents or the accidents increasing despite every technical factor being correct? So to standardize everything, standard operating procedures were introduced, which meant that each individual's task was mentioned in the book. So people used to, now in the 1970s, people then started following the book, and everybody, like if the captain is flying the aircraft, then the first officer is supposed to talk with the ATC, do the landing gear up or other activities in the cockpit. So there's a saying like there's a golden rule in flying, that is fly, navigate, and communicate. This is just a call. I just hold on for a second. So there's a golden rule now in aviation, that is fly, navigate, and communicate. So with the evolution of SOPs, this golden rule also came in the picture. And what does it mean? First thing is to fly the aircraft. What is the first thing? You must know where you must be in the control of the aircraft. So that is, somebody must be flying the aircraft out of the two cockpit crew. Then it's navigate. You must know where your position is, what your position is, and where you're headed to. Then comes communicate. So that is the chronology. You cannot let the aircraft. You are not supposed to communicate before then the flying the aircraft. So it is fly, navigate, and communicate. So these were the things. These were the things that golden rules started coming up into the picture. And about CRM, initially CRM, what do you think CRM is? Initially CRM was very much limited to cockpit resource management. But now that also has changed over the period from 1970s. These things have also changed. Now CRM includes everything. You have your cabin crew also included in your CRM. You have your engineers also included in your CRM. And you also have even in your people sitting in the back office, back end office, they are also included in the CRM. What CRM means is each one should be helping each other, and in some or the other way. There has been instances in the old days. It has been noticed that few incidents were because the first officer could not alarm the captain in case of any hazard or any issue. Just a second. Just a second. Hold on. So the first officer was not able to alarm the captain in few of the issues, like if he felt that something is going wrong in the aircraft. So he did not have that leverage. Basically, he was not comfortable. He was not saying aloud that, okay, captain, we should make a go around in this case. We should not land. We cannot see the runway. So these things have changed. The CRM classes now are given in aviation, which I think which mellow downs everything, which breaks the ice and amongst the flying crew also as well. Even if sometimes cabin crew notices some problem in the right engine, and then she does not have that. She did not have the leverage earlier days in 1950s, 60s. So the incidents were still happening in 1950s and 1970s. So CRM was included. Now today we are into 2020, and this decade 2020 to 2030, we are constantly improving further. We have not only included CRM, we have now included organizational factors as well into the picture. So what are organizational factors? The organizational factors would be like we have we are now we don't if an incident occurs or if a issue occurs in the aircraft, so we don't straight away blame the pilot. So that thing is gone. We don't look for somebody, to be blamed or an engineer to be blamed. Things have changed. Things have changed in a drastic way. We try to find out what are the trends. What are the trends basically? Why did this issue occurred? So how do we try to find the trend? We have got some performance indicators and safety performance indicators. So what are safety performance indicators that we have included is we try to get the data from the manufacturer, like from the Airbus manufacturer, and also from the regulator, which says that how many hard landings have we done in about 10,000 approaches? How many go rounds have we done in 10,000 approaches? How many times was the co-pilot flying in a way which could have been unpleasant to the passengers? And now we correlate the data and we try to improve the safety before anything occurs. We get the trend beforehand. We are now, that's why we are able to imagine the kind of flying now it is happening, and all the incidents and accidents have been limited. So it is now one of the safest mode of transport and safest profession as well. I mean, you have so many systems in the aircraft. Like if there's one failure, then you have the other system that takes over, and redundancy of the systems is quite a lot. So we are hoping that the future holds much more improvement, and things will be more comfortable, and it will improve further. The safety things will also we'll have much more safer skies and blue skies. So since now you are all at this stage where you'll be thinking, okay, how we should prepare for it, how we should. I've told you a little bit about your health. You have to keep in check, and your grooming you have to keep in check. Then what should be what you should not miss out. You may just do flying. You may just complete your get into the airline as well, but you need to be a confident pilot. People will look upon you. They will be trusting on you. So how do you become a confident pilot? You become a confident pilot by reviewing certain things. So if you have your notepad or your something, so I'll let you know few things that you should be aware of once you get to the flying or once you start your flying. some things which are with physics, some basic laws you must understand. Like you must know there's always a mismatch. There's always a doubt that which theory led to the creation of lift, whether it was Bernoulli's theorem or whether it was Newton's law of motion. So even if you are going for engineering, even if you are going to fly, you must understand what is Bernoulli's theorem, what is Newton's three law of motion, which law helps to create the lift. Why you must be see there are so many people who are flying the aircraft, but they still don't know, they cannot explain to a layman how does an airplane fly, what happens, what is the phenomena that is happening. So once you understand this, I don't think you will ever make mistakes in understanding the various concepts in flying. So Bernoulli's theorem, Archimedes' principle, Pascal's law, and Newton's law of motion. These are few things that I've told you. Then comes you will be flying in a very dynamic environment. One day you might just feel a little bit of weather and some problem with the aircraft as well. You might just see. So how do you have to stay ahead of the aircraft? How would you stay ahead of the aircraft? You will basically try to improve on your mental mathematics. Try to solve little bit problems. See, if I ask, we don't need scientists. You are not supposed to become a scientist to fly an airplane. You just need to be an average person and average in studies, and generally the average people who are in studies, they are the best pilots, because it is more of a skill that is required, and it is basically a balance that is required between the theory and the skill. Sometimes people who are too much into studies, they are not able to react in that situation when they have to reject the takeoff due to some engine failure or engine fire. So they are not able to reject the takeoff because they try to get into the books that, okay, what is the procedure, what do I'm supposed to do. So it is as I said, it's a balance. So you just need to be ahead of the aircraft. One needs to be ahead of the aircraft. So how do you stay ahead of the aircraft? Your mental math should be a little, you should try to solve a little bit questions on mental maths. And if I ask you what is 0.5% of 10,000, so you should be able to, you should take a few seconds only to think, get to the answer. If you think you're taking too much time, then try to work on these, because you will find that, okay, you have to do some certain fuel calculations. You have to if you have to divert to a different airport, if you have some failure, if you have to come down to a lower altitude, so your fuel penalty will be there. You can always use your calculators, but however, if you are flying at that moment, you will yourself want to avoid the calculator. You will not want to go heads down and look at the calculator and do the calculation. You will be going to the weather, so you will want yourself to look direct into the horizon and get these calculations in your mind on your own. So imagine, I'll just give you another example. Since I asked 0.5% of 10,000, now I'll ask you one more question. Try to think that if you can solve that. Imagine you're flying a multi-engine aircraft, twin-engine aircraft, which has got two engines, and fuel consumption per engine is 800 kgs per hour. So how much fuel would our aircraft consume in 1.5 hours? So these are the kind of questions that you have to keep on asking yourself when you'll be flying the aircraft. And of course, you will all do it very easily because the kind of training that you will receive in, first of all, in the school for flight dynamic schools, and then in your airline as well. 99% of the candidates will be able to do this, and so there's a lot of scope. So it's just an idea that I'm trying to give you, that uh, these are the kind of things that are expected. So I'll probably share my screen and show you what pandemic, even if the pandemic is there, as I mentioned, looks like the worst is over, worst is behind us now, and things going to be improving from here on. I'll show you the figures by CAE, that's Canadian Aviation Electronics. That's one of the school which is into simulator training. Let me just. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can always ask me.
Good morning, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Later on, we will going to proceed with the Q&A segment. Actually, we are live now and we have 200 plus students watching, and they are starting to ask some questions.
Okay, okay,
So maybe later, sir, after you stop presenting your presentation.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
So can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
See,
It is now visible.
yeah. So see, so this is the airline and business jet pilot demand outlook for the 10-year view. That is for 2000. That was updated in 2018. Today we are in 2021, and with the pandemic, we can we have seen recession in 2008. We have seen 9/11 as well in the incident that occurred in the United States. However, after that, aviation has bounced back always, because the very reason that if one has to go from like Philippines to USA, he cannot go by train. He cannot. So one has to fly into an airplane only. So eventually, things start to improve with the leisure trips. Then soon enough, business trips also starts coming back into the uh, business flying also starts coming back. So just look at this figure. I'll show you what CAE has viewed. Just have a glance at aviation pilot demand. I hope you all can see this and try to understand this graph basically. In 2018, there were about 55,000 business jet pilots. See, it's a business jet pilots, that is in charter aviation, or somebody doing ferry, somebody doing basically charter aircraft. Most of them business jet pilots are like into ambulance services, into support for businessmen, for politicians. So that is mostly for the business jet pilots. So active pilots in 2018 were 55,000, and airline pilots. See, airline pilots in 2018 was 305,000. Now, what CAE had estimated that there will be replacement of pilots. About 40,000 pilots will be replaced out of this business jet pilots, and 110,000 airline pilots will be replaced. Replacement could be due to the age. Most of the pilots that are flying today are above the age of 45 and 50. So they will be replaced as the retirement, they will be reaching their retirement age. Additional pilot growth for growth. So 10,000 pilots more are required in next 10 years for business jet. And look at these numbers. Just look at these numbers. I hope you all can see. There's about 160,000 more pilots that are required. So from 55K, there will be 65K pilots in business jet pilots, and from 305K pilots to 465K pilots, that is will be in 2028. That's what CAE has estimated. So even if there is a halt, even if there is a halt in like expansion plans of the airline, but still these numbers are so huge that I think that there's a lot of demand, and each airline will is now, sooner or later have started calling their redundant pilots, and all their have started interviewing once more. They have started doing training for the new upcoming pilots, and as they see what holds in the future. So just look at this. Pilots needed over the next 10 years. Over the next 10 years, 110,000 pilots are needed in America, 90,000. The reason for America is because most of the age in the America is of the pilots are quite high. I'll show you that as well. I'll show you the pie chart. In Europe, also, 90,000 pilots are required. In Asia Pacific, about 100K pilots are required. That equivalents to about 300,000 more pilots that are required in next 10 years. And how many captains do we require? See, the journey of a pilot is like from the first they sit on the supernumerary seat, that is a training seat. You will go there in the airline. You will sit in the supernumerary seat. You will observe the flight. You'll be figuring out where the aircraft is going, what is happening, where's the runway. You'll be all trying to figure it out. That happens with everybody. Happened with us also. And but soon, once you get a little bit of training, then you will get onto the right seat. That is the first officer seat. You will get into that, and then the captain seat. And the career progression is so nice that the show does not end at captains. Then you become a check pilot. After that, you become a simulator instructor and an airplane instructor. Then you become an examiner. So your career growth will always be there, and there will never be a halt. There will never be a boredom, in your flying career. You'll always be looking something to, upgrade yourself. So 215,000 new captains that are needed in 2028. That is a huge number. Even if we remove 50,000 out of that, that is then again also it is 175K pilots, captains required. So what can be the signs of improvement? Signs of improvement is like large jets are coming. Passenger, basically in commercial aviation, let's understand, because most of you will be flying in commercial aviation and any of the field, like even if you become a cabin crew, maintenance engineer. So this is relative to any of the streams that you choose, any of the professions that you choose. Okay. So passenger traffic is rising year on year, 7%. Direct city pairs expanding, greater than 20,000. Okay. Average load factor increasing. Now, Now things have changed. Earlier, aviation was very much limited to the elite class, and now anybody who, I think anybody, any middle class from middle class society, he can fly an airplane. He can go to his destination. He doesn't not have to go by train or by other modes of transport. So passenger load and the load factor is increasing year on year. So just look at this. New pilot demand resulting from replacements. The number of professional pilots over the age of 50 is disproportionately high. Okay. So look at this pie chart. Look at this pie chart. Look at this. So most of the pilots are above the age 50. Most of them are above age 50. And the retirement age in some of the airlines is less than 60. In few of the airlines in India, it is 58. So they have just got 8 years to fly. Where will how? So one has to fulfill these demands. There's so much scope over there, and so small number is less than 35. So this data speaks for itself that how much demand is there and how much, let it be any pandemic, let it be any recession, let it be anything. But demand is so huge that all of you will get accommodated once you have done your training. This has happened. All of us are flying. See, as I mentioned earlier, all of us who got trained in the Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics in the year 2007 to 2008, and we all are we all are in some of the other airlines and some of the other doing things related to aviation only. Another thing, 3% retirement per year. Same thing. These retirements can be due to the reason of attrition and the pursuit of non-flying career, loss of medical fitness, etc. Okay, so I would say be positive, be focused, because now we are looking at a very bright future ahead of us, and you will see all the airlines going ahead and bringing a lot of regional jets, a lot of big jets. So big jets, what they require, the crew ratio is also different when you get the big jets. In small like commercial airline, narrow body aircraft, you require about crew about for one aircraft you require around 10 pilots, but for a wide body aircraft that you would require around 16 to 18 pilots per aircraft. So that is also one of the reasons the growth has to be unprecedented. And yeah, so okay, so I think that's it from my side. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to know about this career, about this wonderful profession, then you can always ask me. And I'm also available on Facebook as well. If you have any doubts on any of the technical things also, then also you can always reach out to me. And of course, the school will be there to help you. Okay. Yeah. I hope now that
Yes, sir.
now my screen is not there.
Yes, sir. Actually, thank you so much for the informative presentation, Cap EJ Malik. So, I think most of our students and viewers are really curious about your journey or journey to being a pilot. So there are some questions here that comes from our FB live chat. So we have here the first question, sir. So here's the first question. What was the most difficult decision you made as a pilot? So that is the first question, sir.
What was the most difficult decision as a pilot? Say, once for us, life is very important to us. Once I was flying to I was flying to New Delhi, that is the capital of India. I was flying from there to Dubai. So right out after takeoff, about half an hour after takeoff, we had an issue. We were informed by the cabin attendants that there is a passenger who is not feeling well. There's a passenger who is not feeling well. So I had two ways to go about it. Initially, cabin crew tried to understand the situation. Then the health of that passenger started to deteriorate, and we were flying over a very friendly neighborhood, Pakistan airspace. I hope you know about the issues that India and Pakistan keep on having. So we were flying over the Pakistan airspace, and that was the time of little bit bombing and little bit of shelling was also happening during that time in from India and Pakistan, due to the we have undisputed land that is in Jammu and Kashmir. Because of that, I had a very tough decision. So whether to go back to my own country, or whether to continue towards the destination that was Dubai. So with a very heavy heart, I had to take the decision to land in Pakistan only on that very day. And with a lot of effort, I coordinated with the Pakistan Air Space and Pakistan Air Traffic Controller, and we attempted a landing in Karachi. Karachi, that is in Pakistan. So that was one of the most difficult decision I had to make on that very day. Basically, whether to return back. If I was going to return back, I would not have been able to save that passenger. That passenger might have just lost his life, and if I would have continued towards Dubai, also the result would have been the same. But we were able to save that passenger. We got the help from the airport authorities in Pakistan, and so that was quite a difficult day at work.
Yes, sir. So I think that is totally a problem. One of the most difficult problem I heard, encountered by a pilot. You know? So I think we still have some question here. In fact, we have lots of questions thrown by our viewers. I think Mr. Ariel can read the second question.
Okay, sir. Good morning. So there's another question here. Can commercial pilot fly all aircraft models?
Yes, see, like it is for doctors, you do a degree. Once you do a like in India we do an MBBS degree. That is how you do a CPL first, a commercial pilot license that you will acquire. Then once you have done the commercial pilot license, you will be subsequently trained for the specific aircraft. Like if you are trained, you will go for 2 to 3 months of training for Airbus, or otherwise you will go for 2 to 3 months of training for Boeing. So generally these trainings are for 2 to 3 months. So once you get rated on that particular aircraft, then you are allowed to fly that aircraft. And one can get rated on as many aircrafts. One can get rated on 5 aircraft, 10 aircraft, depending upon his choice. But generally people go for 1 or 2 ratings.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir EC Malik. So follow-up question. So I don't know if this is a question. Here's a question. Did they serve the same food to you as the same as on the passenger? Same food on the for the pilot seat as well as on the passenger. Is it the same, sir?
I didn't get your question. Could you just repeat?
Yeah, the food that they
Okay,
serve,
food.
the cabin crew serve, is it the same as the pilot and the passenger?
Yeah, so this is also a very important thing that we find in civil aviation. Basically, both of it's a very good question. In fact, the food we get served are generally the could be the same to for the passengers, but we different. Both of us see there are two pilots in the cockpit. Generally, there are two pilots. So when we both take different meals, we don't see if there's a poison in one meal, then one of us will have issue. So we both take different meals, and if I am taking a continental, then he will be going for Chinese. We cannot share the same meal. That's civil aviation law, basically.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. Sir Ariel, questions? Is there
Okay.
any question?
Um, so here's the question, sir. No? So how did you attain your schooling expenses? Since being a pilot, no, is expensive.
Yeah, okay. So at that point of time, in 2007, 2008, most of us we were funded by our family, and we were also some of us took loans as well, and we were able to repay the loans in about within 1 year of flying only. Once we joined the airline, so within 1 year of the job, we were able to pay back the complete flying expense only because the salaries are so good uh, after becoming a pilot. So that does not become an issue. And some of us were like, yeah, as I mentioned, funded by families, some of that's us accumulated from some different businesses, some was that they were previously doing. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. By the way, Sir Johnny is currently watching our live and he has a message for you. It says here, thank you, Cap AJ Malik, for giving us your time to be our guest speaker in our live stream. As a graduate of Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics in Lapu-Lapu City, it is our great honor that one of our graduate is one of the best airline pilot in the airline industry. Congratulations from Juanito de la Cruz. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's all because of your blessings and all because of your wonderful training experience that you provided us over there, and you took care of all of us. We were so young. I mean, we were at that tender age of 18, 19, and we were taken proper care, and we were, Mr. De La Cruz, I remember I was going for a multi-engine training. So that was to some different city that was not in Manila, Cebu, not even in Manila. So that was a different city. So he, along with me and my batchmate, we were two of us, and Mr. De La Cruz personally went along with us in an aeroplane and made us stay comfortable in that different city for just two of us. So that's a very nice gesture. Otherwise, he could have just told us that, okay, you guys can take the airplane and go to that city and do your own things and handle things. But Mr. De La Cruz went along with us.
sir, thank you so much. By the way, to all our viewers out there, if they doesn't know, Cap AJ Malik is a proudly product of FDSA Cebu, Flight Dynamics Cebu. So he attained his commercial pilot license at the year 2007 at FDSA, right? So it's a product of FDSA Flight Dynamics Cebu. So sir, we still have some questions here. So another question comes from our viewers out there. He said, did you still using your manual as a pilot? Or are you still using your manual as a pilot?
Uh, uh, What's the question? Did I self-user manual? What's that?
Yeah, the manual. Are you using manual?
Yeah, okay. Yes, of course. There are a lot of books that you have to go through once you are beginning to train, and the manuals tells you about all the procedures and all the technical aspects in the aircraft. And as I mentioned earlier, that see, you need not mug up anything. You just need to know where the thing is located, basically in the manual. You see, the manuals are so big, so you cannot remember all the things in of the manual, but you need to know where to find it. You should be able to say, if you have to find that, okay, you have got this fault in the aircraft, you should be able to understand this fault is from the hydraulic system of the aircraft. So you will directly go to the hydraulic system in the manual and try to find out that fault. If that is fault from the fuel system, so you will refer to the fuel system. So you need to know where to find in the manuals.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ariel. I think we still have lots of questions to ask.
Okay. Sir, there's a question here. If you are a colorblind person, is there a chance to become a pilot?
Well, unfortunately, no. If you are color-blinded, you cannot become a pilot. You will go through the medicals, initial medicals you will go through. And generally, in our country, these medicals are conducted by, it's a very stringent medical, and it is conducted by the Indian Air Force. So at initial stage, you go for class 2 medical. That is most of the people are able to clear. But then after that, you go for the class 1 medical, which is a more stringent one. Even if you have different readings in your blood, which are not like if you have thyroid issues, if you have high CBC count or high blood count or any of the issues, then you are told that this profession is either treat this issue, either come once the issue is treated, and then you can always return back. But with color blindness, you are not allowed to fly, because you will not, in the night, you will not be able to differentiate between different runway lights, and you will not be able to differentiate in the cockpit also what are the readings. And
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So there is another question here. Says here, hi Cap Malik, what's the minimum height required in becoming a pilot? And also, do you have any idea if there is an airline that promotes study now, pay later program, since we know that it's expensive to study or train as a pilot? Thank you.
okay, so for civil aviation, height is generally not a problem. Uh, even if you are, even if 5 feet, somebody is able to, able to control the all the rudders. That is, rudders and the brakes. So even if somebody who's 5 feet, he is also able to clear the medicals and do the flying. So height is generally not that great a problem. But if you go for Air Force flying, so you need to have, generally in India, the specs should not be there. This, so, and height should also be up to the certain limit. But in civil aviation, it is not required. And even 5 feet height is also accommodatable. When they're doing the medical, they will try to make you sit on a seat, in a virtual seat, or that is, they will be at medical centers. So they will check your height, and if you are able to touch all the controls, and your hand is reaching everywhere, so they will check it. Next is that fly now, pay later. See, it is a nice concept for somebody who is really passionate and who does not have funds. Now, if you need, as I mentioned, you need at least some amount to fly to learn to fly. But even if you sacrifice 1 year of your salary by like flying now, learning to fly now and playing later, you will just sacrifice your 1 year of your salary, maximum to maximum. That is a trend all over the globe. So that is now how it is happening nowadays, and I think that is also a good way to go about it.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. Mr. Ariel, do you still have some questions left?
Okay, Captain, no, thank you. So, last question, I think, Sir Yusi. Last question. So, Captain, what are the trainings or flying hours needed or pilot and command?
So in different airlines in different countries, generally they set a minimum age bar. Like in my previous airline, uh, in Go Airlines, where I started my flying career, there was an age bar that you need to be a minimum of age of 26. Your minimum age should be 26 to become pilot in command. That is very much required also, because you need to have a level of sense of maturity also. uh, Person who is 21-year-old, he will command the airplane in a different way, and somebody who is 26-year-old, he will command the airplane in a different way. It's a serious business, as we all know. So that was the criteria in my previous airline. But flying hours is decided by the regulator, and around 1500 hours you become eligible for your clearing your exams, that is ATPL exams. Then you clear your ATPL exam at 1500 hours. And in my current airline, that is Indigo Airlines, one has to accumulate about 3000 to 3500 hours to get a call from the training department for the upgrade to the captain. So 3000 hours will be done in about 4 years maximum 4 years.
Okay, thank you so much, Captain. I think, Cap, we still have some few questions left here.
Okay.
So here's the next question. Captain, how many years is validity for pilot license? Do you need to renew or no?
Yes. So pilot licenses are basically valid for generally for about 5 years, and again depending upon the regulatory authority. In our country, they are valid for 5 years. But if you are constantly flying, so you just need to send your documents to the regulatory authority, and the licenses get renewed. And even if you're not flying for 2 3 years, you need to just go through certain checks, few hours of flying at some flying school, and that is due to which the license gets renewed. And one a pilot can fly up to the age of maximum up to the age of 65 all across the globe. And due to the shortage of demands, just before the COVID, I heard that this age of 65 years is also increasing to 70 years. So a person who is of 70 years, if his medical is fit, if his medical is fine, he was also supposed to be allowed for flying. That was the rule that was coming up in our country.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir Ariel, is there any questions?
And so far, sir.
So I think this would be the last question. So it says here, hi Captain Malik. My question is, in your flying experience, what is the most complicated situation that you faced during your flight? And follow-up question, how much would it cost to be a commercial pilot? Cap can answer.
Okay, so like complicated thing I have already mentioned. I had faced a medical emergency that I had faced in a medical emergency of a passenger that I had faced. So that was a complicated issue that we had to, take care of. Then another thing, we keep on getting some of the other emergencies, like a bird hit. You must have heard about the Hudson River air crash, Captain Sullenberg. So I have also faced bird hits. I have also faced few hydraulic failures over the mountains. So over the mountains, things are very different. You cannot descend down to certain altitude. You are just 2,000 or 4,000 feet above the mountains. That is, so you have to make a decision at that point of time which direction to go. So that was also one of the I faced one of the my ailerons of the aircraft stopped working. So that was also one of the issues that we faced in one of my flying career. And fees for the training, I think, depends upon the different flying school. But let me just, yeah, uh, I think 50,000 US dollars. I think it should be. You would require anything around 40 to 45,000 US dollars now, right? 40 to 45,000 US dollars. I think that is the fees all across the globe for commercial pilot training at the moment.
Okay, Captain Malik, thank you so much. I think that will cover up our Q&A segment, and I received a message here that Sir Johnny De La Cruz, Captain, will talk to you later. Maybe he will call you later after this meeting. So I think that will serve as our Q&A segment. Thank you so much, Captain EJ Malik. I think most
Okay.
of our students and our aspiring pilots learned something for today's talk. So I think without further ado, we can now proceed with the certification, appreciate of certification. So Sir Ariel.
Okay, so thank you so much, Captain. Appreciation. Okay, so FDSA Aviation College of Science and Technology Incorporation award this Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is presented to Captain EJ Malik for sharing his valuable knowledge as guest speaker during webinar on topic Navigation the Journey to Success in the Face of Pandemic. So given this 24th day of May 2021 at FDSA Aviation College of Science and Technology Incorporation. Signed by Ms. Isabel G. Malonzo, MIT MBA, Head of Academic Affairs, and Engineer Juaneto M. De La Cruz, President and CEO. So thank you so much, Captain.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me time to speak, and I hope I didn't bore any of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So expect a call from our dear President, Juanito M. De La Cruz, later. So
Okay.
I think that
Thank
will
you.
be all. Okay. I think that will cover up our webinar for today. Thank you so much to our two great professional speakers today. So first is our professional cabin crew from Cebu Pacific, Ma'am Vern Duque. And last but not the least, our professional commercial pilot, AJ Malik. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, Captain, for the inspiring message. And of course, thank you everyone for staying with us for today's webinar. This is not will be possible without you guys. So, Sir Ariel, do you have anything to say?
Okay, sir. So in behalf of FDSA Cebu campus, so thank you so much, for our guest speakers. Okay, so and to the students, I hope that you learn something from it that will make us your motivation to pursue your career in aviation. So, and we hope to see you again this coming Wednesday, May 26, 10 a.m. for another career webinar series with the theme Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of Pandemic.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that would be the end of our webinar series. I hope to see you all on May 26 for another career webinar series. So our guest speaker is an aircraft mechanic on the May 26th. So same link pa rin po tayo, and don't forget to register on the link provided on the live chat, because that is we will going to send you your e-certificate or electronic certificate. Think without further ado, let's end this meeting, and thank you so much everyone, and have a great lunch.
Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank
You
you.
too.